Hello everyone, my name is Jen. I actually created this video to serve as a guideline for those who's planning to apply for a K1 visa. This is actually how I assembled my I-129F Packet, and actually just did it on my own. And with that, you'll be saving money instead of paying a big amount to a lawyer or getting an agency to do it for you, wherein you still have to prepare all the documents. They just have to put it together. That's it. So to start off, what we'll be needing, only few items. First would be the packet folder. For the packet folder, what I used is a folder similar to the one in the photo, the one that has two pockets only inside. I just thought of putting all the papers inside the pocket instead, and put a paper clip, whichever paper or document that needs to be together, or use the paper clumps if the documents are kind of thick. So in that sense, it's easy for the USCIS officers to take it off, because basically they'll be scanning each and every document that we'll be sending them. And of course, Post-it actually have the Post-it to label each document, so it's easy for them to find it. There you go. So first that you should be preparing, or that will be included in your packet, would be the Form G1145. Form G1145 is an e-notification of application or petition acceptance. With this particular form, once you send it along with your I-129F Packet, and once they received it, they'll be sending you an email and a text message saying that they received your packet. So in that sense, you will have a peace of mind that the correct people received it, or your packet wasn't lost or something. So right here, I'm gonna go briefly with my I-129F cover letter. It's actually not mandatory, but for me, we actually included the cover letter, so it's easy for the officers or even for myself to check all the documents I'll be sending, or what are the documents I'll be enclosing inside the I-129F Packet. So for this one, of course, you just have to put the petitioner's name, petitioner's address, and for the address of filing location, you actually do have two options. If you'll be sending it by normal mail or standard mail, you have to send it to UCIS lockbox. But then if you plan of sending it via a courier, then the address would be in Louisville. Courier in the sense that you wanted someone to sign that it was received, but it's up to you on which one you'd like to have. Of course, lockbox would be cheaper, courier would be a bit pricey. So with this one, you just have to itemize what are the items or documents you'll be putting inside your I-129F Packet. There you go. So you have to fill in Form I-129F. This is the petition for alien fiance. It has 13 pages to complete. By the way, all the forms I'm putting in here, they're actually the latest from www.uscis.com website, and I would suggest as well, if you're planning to proceed with your application, you grab all the forms from the USCIS website, because that's where you're gonna get the most updated one. So I-129F form, basically here you'll be inputting all the information about your fiance, what he does, where he lives, as well as your information, your name, your civil status, your address, and as well as if you do have children, you must include all the names of the children that you have. Doesn't matter whether you'll be bringing them with you in the United States or not. For this particular form, I'll actually gonna make a separate video on how to fill up the form itself, because it's kind of long for this one. So we'll proceed. Next would be form G325A. G325A is the biographic information. This will include your name, where you used to live, birthday, your parents' name, birthday, and address as well. If you do have an ex-wife, you have to include the name, birthday as well, when you got married before, and where, and the date when the marriage was terminated. Then here you'll have to put as well your addresses for the last 5 years, and that would include the address where you live outside the United States, as well as your employment for the last 5 years as well, and the dates. And of course for this one, you have to sign it manually. Electronic sign are not acceptable. Okay. Next would be proof of citizenship. Proof of citizenship could either be the birth certificate, certificate of naturalization, or the US passport. In our case, my fiance is actually not an American citizen by birth, so we actually provided them with the certificate of naturalization along with the copy of his passport, all the pages. And for this one, you just have to the cover letter, it's up to you as well. It's not mandatory, but it's up to you on whether you'd like to put one or not. So you just have to tell them what the document is and assure that it's an exact photocopy and unaltered. Okay. And next would be letter of intent. Letter of intent is one of the criteria, or one of the most important document that you have to include in your I-129F packet. Letter of intent, it seems very short, but for them, they have to have, or they have to read, and you have to submit this particular letter to them stating that you are legally able and willing to marry your fiance, and that you intend to do it within 90 days of his or her arrival in the United States. So this letter of intent should be, there should be one for petitioner and one for beneficiary. So one would be the US citizen and the other one would be the fiance. Next would be proof of meeting in person. Proof of meeting in person is one of the main criteria for applying a K1 visa. It actually states on the website that for you to be able to apply for K1, you and your fiance must have met each other within the last 2 years. So basically for them, you have to make them believe that the relationship is true, that both of you exerts effort or resources just to see each other because you love each other and that you really would want to build a family together. So for this particular one, what I did is all the photos we got, I actually used a Word file. I just put a photo and then underneath I put a brief note on where the photo is taken, when the photo was taken, and a brief description of the photo itself. So it's easy for them to know what is the photo all about. Next would be proof of ongoing relationship. So for this one, we must have the proof. Like what I said earlier, we have to convince them that the relationship is real, that we're exerting effort, time, resources just for us to let each other feel our love. So for this one, we actually forwarded the Chatlogs. Chatlogs could either be Viber, Skype, Messenger, WhatsApp, WeChat, whatever mode you got, you can use it. So what we did, I actually just screenshot the conversation that we had. But from our side, since my fiance is not a pure American, so we usually talk or chat in our own language, which is Tagalog. So I actually chose those conversation that is in English, so we don't have to get it translated if it's in Tagalog. And also just make a screenshot of the chat or calls with the duration in it and the date in it, so they could see that you have a constant communication. Aside from the chat logs, you could also send a photo of the gifts that you send each other, or the remittance receipt if any of you are sending money to each other as well as a support. So that will be fine. Next would be proof of travel. Proof of travel, as I've mentioned, one of the criteria is you must have met your fiancé within the last 2 years. So proof of travel will be, of course, a proof that you really met each other. So in our case, actually same word document, I make a copy of I made a copy of the itinerary or the e-ticket, as well as the boarding pass or baggage claim tag, or it could be the passport that shows the arrival stamp or the departure stamp, whichever country would that be, that the two of you met each other. So for me, I just put a label on top of each photos, which kind of document it was, so it's easy for them to see. Next would be the engagement letter. Well, this one I really have to put a cover letter. For this one, it is also one of the criteria for you to be able to call a K1 or a fiancé. Of course, your boyfriend or girlfriend must have proposed to you to marry him or her. So this doesn't necessarily mean that your boyfriend or girlfriend has to give you an engagement ring, because sometimes if you don't have a budget, of course it could be something else. But the fact that the person proposed a marriage to you is considered an engagement, and you have to have the proof. If you have the engagement ring, of course, you have to take a photo that you're wearing it, as well as the receipt of the ring. Yes, and you could also take a photo of how your your boyfriend proposed, where it was, something like that. And it's not mandatory as well. I also included a thank you letter, just to tell them that we are really keen of being together, that we already have plans of building a family in the United States of America. There you go. So those are the things that are included in my I-129F Packet. So if you do have questions, you can leave on the comments. And for the next video, I'll be making a videos on how to fill up the particular forms, so we could go through it one by one. But for now, thank you for watching. Till my next video. Bye.